Welcome to our next video in the Iclicker system. Today, or I should say in this video, we're going to be talking about how to create your class roster. So this is probably the step that confuses the MSB faculty the most, and hopefully we can give you a little guidance here. When you use the system, and we've talked about this a little bit, the Iclicker execute file is what launches the software in your classroom. But after students have use the system and clicked in class, all of that data is stored in what is called the iGrader. But there's a key piece we need for the iGrader before we go use that system, and that is the class roster. And so after you've created a course, Iclicker will create this folder called classes. And if you open that up, what you'll see is it creates a unique folder for every class that you create. And you don't have to come into these folders very often, but one thing you do need to do is come into the folder and find this little text file called roster. And if we open up the roster file, Iclicker is nice enough to leave us an example of how the roster file should be set up. So you'll see they've left some language here and how this is done. And they've also left a student name. So I'm going to take out the language they left. What they've left is one example student for you. And I think what you need to know about this is, so everybody who's in your class, and you can take your grade roster or your Blackboard roster, or the easiest way you can to find your class roster, but you need to have them put into a format that is the following: last name, comma, first name, comma, net ID. And so for myself, it would look like this: Grana Peter PJG 46. So you'll see I did not include at georgetown.edu, but just the net ID. Now Tim Stelzer was just a fictitious person, so we're going to take him off there. And you don't want to leave in last name, first name, net ID. That was just to show you an example. But for every person within your class, so if you have 20 people in your class, there should be 20 rows here. Another example is, we'll use Lauren Granger, who works in the MBA program office as well, and we'll use Brian Kane, who does as well. And so this format needs to be repeated for every student. You only have to do this one time, and if you have a way to get your file from Word, you can copy it into this notepad file. We're going to save this now, and that creates our class roster. And I will show you one last thing on this video. Like I said, the iGrader, where all of the data is stored that the students click in, will now reflect everyone we created on that class roster. So you can see the 3 people, and I haven't put them alphabetically for me, are now in our iGrader. And so that is how you create your class roster. Be wary if you have an add drop period or a student adds your class later. You do need to go in and make those adjustments on your roster file. So if a student drops out, you'll want to take them out of the file, and if you add a student later, you want to go back in and create them. And that is how we create our class roster. We hope if you need further information, you will watch our videos and find the information that's most relevant to you and use our Iclicker reference guide. And I hope this helped.